Okay, so you know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It hits you maybe like 7 p.m. on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
After the screens finally go dark. All day, you've been under, well, intense pressure.
Right.
You answered those emails, the really tricky ones, made big decisions, kept it all together.
You practiced maximum effort, maybe maximum patience even.
Exactly. And then the second you switch from work mode to home mode, maybe,
Yeah.
the energy just, poof, it drains right out.
Yeah.
And this very specific, almost like unavoidable desire takes over.
That's the tipping point, isn't it? Physiologically, psychologically, it's when just continuing to be productive,
Yeah.
the effort feels way bigger than any reward.
Totally. And in, Western cultures, we often feel like we need an excuse for that moment. We have to, justify resting.
We do invent reasons, don't we? Oh, I should go to the gym, but...
Or I should cook. But it's this complicated, guilt-ridden internal chat. Like, okay, fine, I'll just order takeout and stare at TV until I pass out.
Exactly. But we found these sources about a concept from Ilonggo culture.
Yeah. And it perfectly captures that precise feeling, that, restorative desire. And it gives it built-in validation, which is key.
That's right. So our mission today is to do a deep dive into this really powerful idea, the Ilonggo concept of Gana.
Yana.
Yeah. And our sources, they frame it beautifully. It's like the necessary relief valve after a long stretch of intense mental, maybe even emotional work.
And to really get Ghana, we first have to understand what it's contrasting with.
Mm-hmm.
The sources set up this clear divide, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole day is spent practicing something called Paghalong.
Paghalong, carefulness.
And then the evening goal, the ultimate goal, that's following your Ghana.
And what's so fascinating, I think, is that the language itself provides this perfect tension. It acknowledges that after all that demanding, deliberate effort, that's the Paghalong,
Right.
there needs to be a culturally recognized way to just let go.
Yeah.
A specific mechanism for release.
Let's pause on Paghalong for a sec, because I think understanding that is just as crucial as Ghana.
Good idea.
Our sources translate Paghalong as, carefulness or guarded effort. But it feels deeper than that. It implies this real commitment to being vigilant, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Paghalong isn't just working hard. Think about the mental tax of modern life.
Okay.
The constant need for emotional labor, Carefully choosing your words and emails, managing how you come across.
High-stakes decisions where if you're not careful, things go wrong.
Yeah.
Badly wrong.
Exactly. That whole burden, that's Paghalong. It's intense self-regulation, mentally and physically.
So it's not just like the physical work of lifting boxes. It's the mental work of constantly caring about the details, preventing mistakes, staying in control. Wow, that sounds exhausting.
It is. Because it burns through your cognitive reserves, Imagine you spend 8-9 hours steering a ship through really dense fog.
Okay, yeah.
You cannot let your attention slip for a single second. That sustained high-level vigilance, that's Paghalong.
Shoo.
And so when that vigilance finally drops, your system basically demands an equally powerful way to recover, a compensation.
Okay. So after a day spent deep in that kind of Paghalong, the switch flips. And now you're chasing Ghana. So what is Ghana, really, at its core?
Well, the source material calls it the ultimate Ilonggo evening goal.
Right.
Fundamentally, it's the desire for non-productivity. It captures that feeling of wanting to do absolutely nothing productive after that long, hard day.
Nothing productive.
It's that restorative desire kicking in precisely because the part of your brain running on obligation is just tapped out.
Okay, but let me just push back a little here.
Yeah.
Isn't saying you want absolutely nothing productive just a fancy way of saying I'm wiped or I'm feeling burnt out?
But see, that's the key insight.
How does Ghana give you something more practical than just saying I'm tired?
Good question. So fatigue, that's more of a physical state, right? Ghana is described as a recognized mood or desire that actively pulls you towards rest. It's directive.
Pulls you towards rest.
And the core of it is in that linguistic anchor our sources gave us, the phrase, wala ako gana mag-obra.
Which translates to, I don't have the desire mood to work.
Exactly. Now think about it. If you just say, I'm tired, your inner critic might fire back, right?
Yeah.
Too bad, gotta pay bills, or kitchen's a mess, or prep for tomorrow.
Yeah, the voice is loud.
But if the cultural framework acknowledges that you currently have Ghana, this specific, powerful, restorative desire, it's like getting a permission slip. The cultural recognition validates shifting focus from outside demands to your internal need for rest.
That's cultural validation piece. That feels huge. It gives you a clear boundary.
Yeah.
You're not failing at your duties.
No.
You're actually succeeding at meeting a necessary, culturally approved need for decompression after all that intense Paghalong. It lets you bypass that inner critic.
And that clarity, that's the psychological advantage right there. It reframes needed rest. It's not a failure of willpower anymore.
It's a win, a successful recognition of what your body and mind need.
Exactly. It turns rest into an achievement, in a way.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because Gana isn't just about avoiding work. It actively dictates what you do want. It points you toward specific comforts. The sources were really clear. Whatever your Gana tells you to do, it leads to things that are soothing, quiet, or just. Easy. It's very specific.
That's the practical utility of the term, right? The Gana is the desire itself, and it tends to manifest in these predictable, comforting patterns. The research laid out like 3 main paths this desire often takes.
Okay, path 1. Classic comfort. You might have a Gana for Batchoy Pancit.
Right, comfort food.
And the sources explicitly tag this as the desire for comfort food. It's not about nutrition or balanced meals.
Right.
It's about immediate sensory satisfaction, hitting that pleasure button.
It's a direct response to the depletion from Paghalong. Your system craves that quick caloric reward, that emotional soothing. The Ilonggo concept gets it. After intense effort, you don't want the kale salad.
Huh, probably not. You want the rich, satisfying, easy thing.
Exactly. Easy to access comfort.
Okay, or pathway 2. If the exhaustion from all that Paghalong, all that carefulness, is mainly physical or mental.
Then you might get Gana for Tulog.
Which is that powerful desire for sleep or just
Rest.
deep rest.
And again, this isn't just deciding, oh, I should probably head to bed soon.
No.
No, it's described as an immediate, almost governing demand from your body and mind for recovery. It overrides other plans. It's like your brain forcing a hard reset after navigating all that mental fog.
A forced shutdown.
Yep.
Got it. And the third main category the sources mentioned. Gana for Netflix, which, okay, the sources acknowledge that this is kind of the modern take on the desire for escape or entertainment.
This one's fascinating, isn't it? Because on the surface, it seems maybe less traditionally restorative than sleep or food.
Right. If Paghalong demanded high engagement, high vigilance.
Then Gana for Netflix seems to demand the opposite. Passive consumption. It's a reliable way to switch off that critical, detail-obsessed part of the brain.
But I do wonder, is Gana for Netflix truly restorative in the same way sleep is? Or is it more like a numbing distraction? Does it just delay the real recovery needed from Paghalong?
That's a really valid challenge to the concept, I think. But the cultural perspective offers a defense, maybe.
Okay.
The power of Gana isn't necessarily judged by the quality of the recovery activity itself, but in the successful redirection away from guilt-ridden obligation. If the Gana, the desire, is for passive escape via Netflix, then the cultural mechanism validates that escape as what's needed right now to find balance.
So the goal is decompression itself, not necessarily optimizing that decompression.
Exactly. It's about hitting the pause button, not necessarily making sure the pause involves, I don't know, mindful meditation or something objectively healthy.
I see. So the value isn't in judging what you do, Netflix versus a nap, but in giving you permission to follow the desire for non-doing, whatever form that takes.
Precisely. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture for you, the listener, what really stands out is this cultural recognition that rest, decompression, stopping the carefulness for a bit, these aren't flaws.
They're necessary steps.
Yes. We spend the day focused on obligation, on the mental strain of Paghalong, and Gana provides a clean break. It's a linguistic, culturally validated switch over to restorative desire.
It really is like an internal shortcut. Instead of fighting with yourself, should I do chores? Should I work on that side project? The concept of Gana just says, nope. Right now, your mood dictates comfort and escape. End of story. And that clarity, that permission, must be a huge advantage in actually managing that post-work depletion, maybe even preventing burnout.
It gives a precise name and understanding to a very common yet often unnamed experience for many of us, that deep, specific pull towards comfort, simple rest, or just zoning out.
That's Gana.
That's Gana, and it forces us to recognize the cost, the toll of Paghalong.
What a fantastic concept, really. Gana serves as such a powerful word, a powerful way to define that specific restorative mood we look for after a day of intense effort and carefulness of Paghalong.
It gives a name to that craving.
It does. That thing we crave most when the work finally stops. And maybe more importantly, it offers that cultural permission to actually indulge it.
Which brings us to a final thought, really. A question for you, the listener. If Gana is the ultimate evening goal after practicing Paghalong, that necessary feeling of restorative desire, What kind of desire dictates your actions when you finally decide to stop being careful? When you clock out mentally and physically?
And maybe crucially,
Does your own language, your own culture, have a single word that captures that restorative need for comfort, for decompression so perfectly? A word that lets you bypass the guilt.
something to think about. Reflect on your own post-work rituals, maybe. Consider what it might feel like if you could just say, right now I am feeling God, and have that be explanation enough.